Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest stick figure story ever told. This is the tale of Stickman Steve, a hero as simple as a line drawing, yet as complex as your Wi-Fi password after you've forgotten it for the third time. Steve's journey begins like all great legends, with a dream to escape the monotony of Stickville, where every day is the same. Wake up, avoid being erased, and maybe, just maybe, find the meaning of life scribbled in the margins of a notebook. Today? Today is different. Today, Steve wakes up with a mission, a purpose. Alarm blares. Oh, wait, no. He just hit snooze. Classic Steve. You see, Stickman Steve isn't your typical hero. He's the guy who trips over his own feet, mistakes glue for water, and once tried to high-five a shadow. But that's what makes him special. Because in a world of perfect animations and flawless characters, Steve is, well, Steve. And today, we're diving deep into his absurd, hilarious, and surprisingly profound adventures. Let's start with Steve's morning routine. Or should I say, lack thereof. Steve's alarm goes off at 7 a.m. Does he wake up? No. He enters a state of existential dread, questioning why mornings even exist. Yawns. Why must I rise, he ponders, when the bed is warm and the outside world is cold and full of responsibilities? Eventually, Steve drags himself out of bed, only to realize he's slept in his stick figure shoes. Yes, he wears shoes. No, we don't know why. Breakfast is a tragic affair. Steve attempts to pour cereal but misses the bowl entirely. Milk cascades onto the counter like a tiny dairy waterfall. He stares at it. The milk stares back. Defeated, Steve licks the counter clean. And then, the commute. Oh, the commute. Steve doesn't drive, he doesn't bike. He skateboards on a stick that's definitely not meant for skateboarding. Crash. Predictably, he wipes out. But does Steve care? No, because in his mind, he's Tony Hawk. By the time Steve arrives at work, a nondescript stick figure office, he's already exhausted. His boss, a menacing stick figure with a tie, glares at him. "You're late," the boss says. Steve replies, "But I brought donuts!" He did not bring donuts, and so begins another day in the life of Stickman Steve, a never-ending cycle of minor failures and accidental triumphs. But Steve's story isn't just about surviving the daily grind. No, our stick hero has bigger dreams. One evening, while staring at the stick figure stars, which are just dots, really, Steve has an epiphany. What if there's more to life than this? Thus begins Steve's great quest for purpose. First, he tries art. He picks up a pencil and draws another stick figure. It's not great. In fact, it's worse than him. Steve sighs. "Maybe I'm not Picasso," he mutters. Next, Steve finds a stick figure guitar, which is just a rectangle with strings. He strums. The sound? Like a dying fax machine. The neighbors complain. Steve moves on. Then, fitness. Steve attempts push-ups. He collapses after one. "Maybe exercise is a myth," he wheezes. But just as Steve is about to give up, he stumbles upon the internet. And oh, what a glorious discovery it is. Suddenly, Steve realizes his purpose isn't to be the best. It's to be hilariously relatable. And so he starts documenting his failures, his quirks, his strange little life. And guess what? People love it. Because in a world where everyone's trying to be perfect, Steve is gloriously, unapologetically imperfect. And that's his superpower. Years pass. Steve's stick figure fame grows. He's no longer just a doodle, he's a phenomenon. Kids draw him in their notebooks. Memes are made in his honor. There's even a poorly made plush toy that looks nothing like him. But Steve? He's still the same goofy stick figure, tripping over his own feet and spilling milk like it's his job. And that's the lesson here, folks. You don't need to be perfect to matter. You don't need to have all the answers. Sometimes just showing up, stick limbs and all, is enough. So here's to Stickman Steve. May his lines always be crooked, his adventures always ridiculous, and his heart forever full of dumb optimism. And remember, if Steve can turn his blunders into a legacy, so can you. Now go forth, my fellow stick figures, and fail gloriously.